My mom was never there. I started living with my grandma at the age of 11. I actually started coming to church when a friend who used to attend this church invited me when I was 9 years old. I've had a continuous teeter-totter lifestyle of living for the world and living for myself, living in the world and living for God. And it's been like just a teeter-totter. That's my best explanation. And I would come to the altar and I would lay everything down. And I'd be like, God, this is my life. You take it. But it's like right when I walked out those doors, I would leave and I was still the same. And it didn't. It's almost like it took years and years and years of leadership, really beating over my head. I didn't want nothing to do with what they had to say. I wanted to live for myself. I wanted to be in these relationships with people I shouldn't have been in. I wanted to hold on to these friends that I shouldn't have had. And it took them really just almost giving up on me for me to be like, I need to get real with God. It was church camp, and I know everybody uses the example church camp changed my life, but honestly, this was my 7th year of going to camp. And this was the only year that I got something out of camp and it stuck. I went into camp with so many bondages. I had so much stuff. If you just picture just chains, they were wrapped around me. I mean, it was terrible. I went in there and I was so bitter, and I didn't want nothing to do with what the leadership had to say to me. And I think it was Tuesday night. It was after the first night. I was on the floor at church camp for like 45 minutes to an hour, getting completely free from all this bondage and stuff that I came to church camp holding on to. I had previously already forgiven my real mother and my real father, but it was like I just held on to so much things, and I just let so many things just consume me. And I came home from church camp, and I really started to say, God, I want your will for my life. I don't want to live for myself. And people started to tell me, Kaylee, I noticed a difference in you. And I felt free, but I didn't feel truly free. There was one thing I was still holding on to that I just didn't want to let go of. And I remember the date. We were at a prayer meeting, and it was October 3rd. I was laying right there on my face, and I said, God, I got to give this up, but I can't do it on my own. So I want you to do it for me. If this thing isn't supposed to be in my life, then I want you to take care of it. The very next day, that thing was out of my life. And it hurt so bad. But I'm going to tell you that when you start to submit to leadership, those leaders that are in your life that are tugging at you, they're telling you, listen, you should be making these choices. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You need to listen to them. I went so long without listening to them. I'm telling you, Deontay used an example in our class that he had got from pastor at their spiritual authority class. The authority comes from God, and it flows down into our pastors, which flows down into our youth pastors, and us as youth are under them. They're our spiritual authority. And if the minute we step out from what they're telling us to do, there's no longer this authority flowing down on us. God can use you. Don't get me wrong. He used a donkey. He can use anybody. But what I'm telling you is that you're not going to truly feel free until you start submitting to those leaders in your life. And I just want to thank the leadership in this church. Dalen and Cindy, these people have spoken to my life. Different leaders throughout the district. They've really poured into me. And I tell you what, I would never go back. I've been so set free from everything. I wake up in the morning and as I'm going throughout my day, I just tell God, I can't. I just want to keep getting closer to you. And there's things that he's going to keep dealing with me. I know he will. But I truly feel free.
Amen.
And it's amazing. It is the best feeling ever. And I'm just telling you guys that I just want to thank my leadership. And I want to thank Tom and Yvette. And I want to thank Pastor Tim and Amika. And I just want to thank the leadership that got on their face. And it's uncomfortable when it's so uncomfortable them trying to just rub on you. It's like sandpaper. But once they sand you out, you're all polished and you feel so new and you feel so free. And I'm just telling you guys, I feel so free in here. We're about to do a dance. We're about to do the Lamb, and I don't want you guys to see it as a dance that we've done before. I've seen this dance before. I want you to see a youth group that has truly been set free. Because we're really understanding
Yes.
We really need to submit to our leadership and how truly free we feel. And I just want you to see that when we perform our dance, that God has significantly changed all of our lives.
Yes.